So hey y'all, my name is Millionaire Mo, or you can just call me Mo. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm just gonna be going over how I plan my solo traveling videos, well, solo travel trips, how I got the courage to even go alone, and how I stay safe with solo traveling. I get a lot of questions every time I go away from family, from friends, and I figured, why not just make a YouTube video and give it to the girls? Okay, so the video is going to be a little bit straightforward. I can go into a little bit depth, but it's not much thinking that I put into my trips. So the number one thing I want to talk about is safety. So for one, when it comes to safety, I do these three things. Number one, I share my location. I share my location with my friends and my family back home. That way they know where I'm at all times. If anything goes wrong, they can say, okay, she last pinged here, last pinged there, whatever the case may be. Number two, when it comes to transportation, airport transportation, to and from resorts, to and from accommodations in a different country, I book all of that before I land. So I either do it through Viator, Expedia, Booker.com, or just like a car service that I found and trust. But usually Booking or Expedia, to kind of have that prearranged, so just so that it is tracked. You never want to just be in an airport in another country just like looking kind of lost, looking for a taxi. Most of the time they're gonna upcharge you, and you just genuinely don't know who you're driving with. Granted, I don't know who I'm driving with either, but at least this way, if something goes wrong, we can track it back to this company and this was the driver for that time, just in case anything goes wrong. Another thing I do, I usually stay in I won't say completely tourist area, but I like to stay in walkable areas when I'm in like cities, places that where I can get out and I can see people. I can kind of walk to the store, I can kind of walk to the restaurant. I never just want to be in the middle of nowhere and just have to rely on taxis and cabs and things like that. Ubers is not in every country. It's just not as common when you go to certain destinations. So you just want to make sure you can at least grab you some food, or if you forgot your charger, you can get to like a gas station, or like not a gas station, but like a 7-Eleven, or just something like a little convenience store. So that's how I do it, and that's the main things I do when I'm traveling, and just being aware, being alert at all times. You don't have to tell anybody you're solo, and just because you're solo, that don't mean you have to be actually by yourself. When I'm on my trips, I am an introvert, so I'm not much of a conversation starter, initiator, but I do take a lot of like tours. So I do a lot of group tours, and that way I'm able to meet kind of people that's like traveling as well. Or sometimes you meet like tour guides, and they kind of you get comfortable with them, and they can kind of introduce you to other areas and other bars and other restaurants or other things to do in their hometown. So that's a great way to kind of connect with a local and connect with people that's also traveling, so you don't have to feel alone. So how I plan my trips, right? I am an adventurous person. That's the type of traveler I am. I'm not too much of a sit on a beach, poolside, at the bar. I'm not too much of that. I can do that during the day, but I don't like to do that all day or throughout my trip. I'm just not that. I'm not a relaxer. Baby, I'm a traveler. We gonna get to going. Like an excursion, sign me up immediately. Where's the water? Where's the animals? What's going on? You can expect me to do 3 things in each country: a food tour if they have one, a cooking class if they have one, and something with animals. I love I love non-domesticated animals. So you catch me with the elephants, you catch me with the tigers, some birds, some dolphins. I love those type of adventures. It's something new. It's something that you wouldn't do on your day-to-day, and it's probably something that you wouldn't do twice, 9 times out of 10. So when it comes to cooking class, sometimes you have your favorite meals, you have your favorite things that you eat from these specific countries, and you just want to learn how to do it the authentic way. And when it comes to food tours, sometimes you don't know what food is there. Sometimes you never had this culture of food, and I'm trying to get the most local and authentic version of it. So I think the local food tours is very inexpensive, and it's just a way to kind of get a little bit more comfortable with where you're traveling to and seeing what they really have to offer. And usually it's in like the walk-in cities, like it's in the walk-in parts of the cities, so you kind of familiarize yourself with the location. I usually do that on my first 1 or 2 days, so that way I am by myself. I kind of have a photographic memory. That way I remember, like, okay, we was here on the last tour, we was there on the last tour. Like, I'm comfortable walking in that area myself. Oh, it shops on this way. Like, you start to see different stuff in your surroundings when you do tours. So I think that's a great way to kind of get yourself out of the hotels and out of the resorts, but still doing something that you enjoy to do. So I plan my trips around things like that. I plan my trips around adventures. I plan my trips around my bucket list. What's on my bucket list? What have I done? What haven't I done? So I kind of go about it that way when it comes to planning my trips. I usually let the destinations find me. I don't go looking for the destinations. And then I just book it from there. I just, I YouTube it, I TikTok it. I see if Black women, how they treat it there. But of course, everybody experience is different. So I don't let that deter whether I'm going to travel there or not, but I definitely use it, with caution about if I want to risk that and how comfortable and how far I am. So how do I got the courage to travel solo? Honestly, I feel like a lot of my life, well, let's start here. I'm the only child, so I'm naturally a loner. I'm used to being by myself. I have a lot of cousins, a lot of family, friends that I grew up with, but as an adult, I'm just naturally a loner. I'm used to doing things by myself, so that wasn't too much of a difference for me. Being in another country is, trust me, it's completely different, but it wasn't too out of the norm for me. So yeah, like I said, I did my research about it, and I just booked a ticket and just went. My first solo country was Jamaica, and I was on a resort. I was a little more hesitant, and I didn't really, adventure as much. I didn't really explore as much. I kind of went to do the bamboo rafting and whatever other things I had booked, and I just kind of came back on a resort because that was my first time being out there. I just wanted to get a little more comfortable, and then after that, it was up. Oh, you just have to walk around. You just have to be alert, be aware, and you have to decide. I think the biggest thing for me, it was deciding that I'm not gonna let life pass me by anymore. I definitely was a person that if I didn't have a friend to go here, or I didn't have an outfit, or I didn't like how I looked, or this person I ain't really messed with like that, she gonna be there, I ain't going. I used to be that type of person, and just I'm not letting my life pass me by for anybody, at all. I have to do what I have to do. I have to do what I love. I never felt so much happiness in my life until I really started solo traveling and doing things that I see online that I probably want to do. I don't have to wait months to do it. I'm young, don't got no kids, don't got no man. This is the time. This is my time for me to explore and to figure me out. And that's where the self-discovery kind of comes in. You learn so much about yourself while you're on these vacations, or while you're trying these different adventures. I just tried aerial yoga. I just tried the flying trapeze. Baby, those are new hobbies. Flying trapeze in New York City is $100 per class. So I don't